It turned criminal really fast. They're just using the civil suit to knock down a lot of your money. I'm seeing this happen with a lot of rappers, a lot of athletes, and people are not paying attention to that.
Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine.
Looks like this Shannon Sharpe drama just got way more intense than anyone expected. Mace just stepped in, and he's not holding back. He thinks Shannon's headed straight behind bars. Mace claims this whole civil case is just a setup to bleed Shannon dry financially, making sure he can't hire top-tier lawyers when the real case kicks in. And it's not just talk. More people are coming forward with serious allegations against Shannon, and each one is messier than the last. What's wild is how fast things are spiraling. These new claims could crush everything Shannon's built. No more ESPN checks, no more podcast fame, no more primetime appearances, and definitely no more young dudes calling him Unc. Everything he hustled for could vanish in a flash. Everybody's been jumping in with their takes on the whole Shannon Sharpe mess. Some are riding for him, while others are completely calling him out. But if you ask Mays, the lawsuit ain't even the biggest issue. He says the real storm is the criminal case that's possibly bubbling up right now. During a recent episode of It Is What It Is with Cameron, Mays kept it raw. When the topic of Shannon came up, the first thing he questioned was, how did nobody tell Shannon that offering $10 million to his accuser was a horrible move? Like seriously, offering cash like that when someone's accusing you of something major just screams, I'm guilty, even if that's not the intention. But Mays didn't stop there. He threw in a twist that sounds kind of funny at first, but low-key gets real sketchy the more you think about it. According to Mays, the wildest part is that the accuser still decided to take this to court even after Shannon allegedly tried to throw $10 million her way. Here's the backstory that's got everyone talking.
I don't want to be, don't manipulate me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the shit on you when I see you.
The woman accusing Shannon is listed as Jane Doe in the legal docs, but the internet was quick to uncover her real identity, Gabriella Zuniga, a 21-year-old OnlyFans model who goes by Gabby. And the details she's bringing to light are serious. According to Gabby, she first met Shannon at a gym in Los Angeles when she was just 19, while Shannon was around 54. Gabby says Shannon didn't waste time. He chased her heavy, and soon they were in a relationship. But she claims it wasn't some sweet romance. Nah, she says Shannon allegedly tried to run her life, controlling her every move. She says he demanded her attention 24/7 and kept constant tabs on her when they weren't together. But it didn't stop there. Things reportedly went left after Shannon ended up in a wild scandal last year. He accidentally went live on Instagram in the middle of hooking up with another woman. Gabby said that moment left her humiliated, and she tried to cut ties for good. But according to her, Shannon wasn't trying to hear that. She claims he talked her into letting him come over to clear the air. But when he showed up, things allegedly took a violent turn, and she says he assaulted her. Even after she says she cried and begged him to stop, that still wasn't the end of it. According to her, in January 2025, Shannon came back to her place, claiming he had some gifts to drop off. But once he got inside, she says things took another dark turn. Allegedly, he assaulted her again. And this time, she says he didn't use protection, even after she repeatedly asked him to. She also claims he went further without her permission in a way she never consented to. After that second incident, Gabby reportedly texted him something heartbreaking. She allegedly wrote, "But I cried when you left because I begged you to put her on and not put it in my a-hole, and you didn't listen. I don't care what our history is. No means no." That text has been making waves ever since it surfaced, but then things got even messier. Not long after the lawsuit went public, Shannon's legal team allegedly leaked a set of texts from Gabby that tell a whole different story. One message from October 7th, 2023 reads, "I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me with it while you're effing me." Then there's another message from January 1st, 2025, just days before the second alleged incident, saying, "I know you missed this big juicy behind, $25,000 for each cheek, $25,000 for a cheek." And it didn't stop there.
We pray all of this is like a fallacy or some kind of hoax or something like this, because he was about to get a bunch of money. And you know, when you're about to get a bunch of money, people that hate on you just wait until you're about to get that money and rain on your parade, but we can't say that. And that's why I wanted to say it to get Stats' opinion. I knew when I said that she was going to go, yeah, no, you can't be on your way to 100 million.
Other texts surfaced too, including, only if you put that baby gravy in me, then I can do whatever I want to me. And I want to put my tongue in your hole and then marry you. That's my daddy. I want you to put a big black baby in me. You better crave it because you're going to be stuck with it for life after you put a big black baby in me. That's one of the wild texts allegedly sent by Gabby. But instead of helping Shannon's case, dropping those messages only made things look even worse for him. Whatever Shannon's legal team was thinking, it definitely backfired. But just when folks thought things couldn't get any crazier, boom. Gabby's attorney, Tony Busby, fired back with some seriously intense audio recordings that shook everything up. In the first clip, Shannon can allegedly be heard threatening to choke Gabby out, saying she had no choice in the matter. And if that wasn't disturbing enough, the second audio just added fuel to the fire. Shannon allegedly sounds ready to get physical, and the vibe in the recording made it clear. This wasn't just tough talk. He seemed real serious about putting hands on her. But here's where it gets messy. Fast. Whispers are flying that those recordings might have been edited to paint Shannon in the worst light possible. And now folks are wondering if there's more going on behind the scenes than just this twisted relationship drama. That's exactly why Maze brought up the $10 million offer. Like, why would Gabby turn that down? Real talk. $10 million isn't some crazy number in cases like this. These kinds of allegations are hard to prove. And in a civil case, it wouldn't take much to spin Gabby as just another OnlyFans model chasing a big payout by tearing down a rich, well-known man. Mace dropped a bomb when he suggested that Gabby turning down that massive settlement might not have been her idea alone. He hinted that other folks could be lurking in the background, people who wanted a slice of that money too. According to Mace, this whole situation popped off just as Shannon was rumored to be locking in a $100 million podcast deal.
This is what I'm getting at. And for him to offer 10 million says that there might be some truth to this, because I'm not offering nobody no 10 million if I know I didn't do anything. And I think the only reason that 10 million didn't work, Killer, I want to know how you feel about this. I think the 10 million didn't work because the pimp need his cut. You know, just allegedly. I'm not saying there is a pimp, right? Let me give you. It's just an idea. This is just an idea, right?
Now, Mace might have said it with a laugh, but the internet wasn't joking. People in the comments started buzzing, asking if Shannon was being played like a pawn in a bigger game. But Mace didn't stop there. He said Shannon may have fallen into a trap that a lot of men with power and money end up in once serious accusations start rolling in. And this trap, it's one that keeps getting deeper. Mace laid it out plain.
For real? Yeah, that worth a lot of money. You know how guys be, and they pushed her on her. And then she said 10. He was like, 10 is my 10. You got to put in your number for yourself. That don't have nothing to do with mine. 10 is mine. That's what we discussed. I'm just telling you.
This first lawsuit is just a warm-up. It's meant to shake Shannon up, drain his wallet, and have him scrambling before the real heat kicks off. He even hinted Shannon might go through what's happening with Diddy right now. First, it's a civil case, then another, and next thing you know, boom, a full-blown federal case hits like a truck. Let's be clear. Nobody's saying these men were forced to do what they've been accused of. This isn't some sympathy campaign. But if what's being whispered in the streets is true, then Shannon Sharpe might be walking straight into the storm of his life. These rumors aren't just stuck in comment sections anymore. They're jumping off the screen and hitting real life hard. The Gabby lawsuit was already explosive, but now Shannon's got even more heat on him, because it looks like some serious skeletons are spilling out of his closet. And you know how the internet rolls. Once those online detectives start digging, it's like the CIA's got competition. When Shannon's lawsuit went viral, folks started scouring his past like hawks, looking for anything that could explain this wild mess he's caught up in now. And yep, they found some shocking stuff. One of the bombshells that surfaced, Shannon allegedly had a whole different incident years back, one that was never supposed to see the light of day. Word is, while he was co-hosting FS1's Undisputed, he was accused of choking a female production assistant at work. An insider claimed the whole thing got handled behind closed doors. No lawsuit ever popped off, but apparently Fox and Shannon's legal team dropped a few $100,000s to make it disappear. Sources say they worked overtime to bury the situation. But not fast enough. The story still managed to leak online. And here's where it gets spooky. Try to search for it now and you'll barely find a trace, like it got scrubbed from existence. But this is the internet. We all know secrets don't stay buried for long. So, when Shannon's team saw that this old alleged incident was starting to blow up again, they didn't waste time. They rushed into full damage control mode and dropped a public statement to shut it down before things spiraled even worse. Shannon's team tried to shut down the noise quick, claiming there was no choking incident on the FS1 set. They said what happened was just some light physical interaction in a playful context with a few co-workers. But that explanation had folks scratching their heads. Like, seriously, what does that even mean?
I keep telling Killer, right? And niggas picking these kind of girls. You can't do that. We talked about this with Ant-Man. We talked about this with several players. You just can't do that. You about to get 100 million. You can't throw it away for IG model. Is she an IG model?
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. How does that work?
She got her separate account and she do her thing on there and people pay.
And since when does playful involve something that gets settled with hush money behind the scenes? But just when people were still trying to process that, another disturbing situation from Shannon's past resurfaced, this time involving his ex, Michelle Evans. Michelle first came forward in 2023, filing a defamation lawsuit against Shannon after also getting a restraining order. She said they had been in a relationship for nearly 10 years, but everything blew up in September 2010 after she confronted him about cheating. What she described next was deeply disturbing. Michelle claimed Shannon got violent during the fight and allegedly forced her to perform a sexual act on him, but it didn't stop there. She says he then forced her onto the bed and assaulted her while saying something chilling, "I'll make it so no other man will want you." Now here's where things get even more unsettling. Gabby, in her own lawsuit, claims Shannon used that exact same line on her during their final encounter in October 2024. According to her, after she tried to end things and he came over to talk, Shannon allegedly forced her to perform the same act, saying, "You've disrespected me so much." But wait, things just keep getting wilder. After Michelle's story came back into the spotlight, people started digging even deeper.
We also got to start paying attention, fellas, when they're telling you it's a civil suit. Don't feel like that's just a civil suit. If it's civil suit, but it's something criminal, it could turn criminal really fast. They're just using a civil suit to knock down a lot of your money. I'm seeing this happen with a lot of rappers, a lot of athletes, and people are not paying attention to that. Another way that people are just green to the streets, you know, that's just one entity trying to walk away some of your money.
And boom, more women popped up with similar claims. It's starting to feel less like a coincidence and more like a pattern that's been hiding in plain sight. One anonymous source claimed that back in the early 2000s, Shannon was known for dating much younger women and allegedly had a reputation for being extremely controlling behind closed doors. The source said he had charm in public, but behind the scenes it was all about dominance and power. That same source even hinted that some women were scared to speak up because they didn't want to go up against a powerful media figure with big money and big connections. And now that Shannon's podcast empire is at risk and major brands are keeping their distance, even some of his former allies are going quiet. People who used to shout him out every week aren't saying a word now. That silence, it's loud. Meanwhile, social media is split. Some fans are still defending him, calling it all a setup. Others say the pattern is too real to ignore. They're asking, how do multiple women from different times have nearly identical stories? And why does the same threatening line keep showing up again and again? And the timing, it's sus too. All this starts coming out right as Shannon's business is booming and he's on the verge of a massive financial breakthrough. But it didn't stop there. Michelle says that after the alleged assault, Shannon turned violent in a whole new way. She claims he threatened to ruin her if she ever dared to speak out. Then the calls started, nonstop, threat after threat. She says he stalked her, reminding her constantly that he was watching. That fear pushed her to file for a restraining order. When this case came crawling back into the spotlight, Shannon's camp clapped back fast. His legal team slammed Michelle's claims, saying she was just hopping on the Shannon hate train trying to snatch a quick payout. They called the lawsuit old news, full of fanciful exaggerations and a blatant misrepresentation of facts. Shannon's team said the whole thing is baseless, and he plans to fight every single word. He also denied Gabby's claims, calling them nothing but a shakedown attempt. Still, The buzz isn't dying down. In fact, it's getting louder. And people are starting to wonder, has Shannon finally reached the point of no return? Could jail time actually be on the table now? So what do you think? Is Shannon going to get hit with serious charges? Or is this all going to disappear like other celebrity scandals? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and hit that bell so you never miss another explosive story like this.